Today on Dependency TV, we explore the topic of teenage drug use with a young man who's been exposed to legal and illegal drugs in the community and at school.
We will also speak with an expert from NADAPP about the reasons for teenage experimentation with drugs and how parents can protect their child in a world where drugs are within easy reach.
I am Annette Augustus, Program Officer, School and Community at NADAPP, and we are under the Ministry of Health. Teenagers are risk takers. This is said due to their developmental stages that they are going through. We're looking at the brain development. At this stage in their life, their brain is not totally developed. So as a result of that, they are more likely to do things which will be taught them it's quite okay, but adults is risky. The development of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is for development of skills, different skill sets such as prioritizing their functions, impulse control, planning, and having things in a logical order is not totally in sync with their stages. So as a result of that, they do things that is risky. And one of the things that some teenagers may do is consume alcohol and other drugs. This can contribute to devastating effects on their body, on society, and their life in general.
Your first line of defense is the immune system of your body. Whenever a foreign body comes in like a virus, your own body will make antibodies to try and attack and shut that virus down. That's the first thing that happens. So the stronger your immune system is, the better. Well, that's the whole premise on which vaccines are done. It introduces something into your body that will cause your immune system to generate those antibodies that will recognize a virus if it comes into your body.
Some of the signs and symptoms a parent should be on the lookout for with their teenage children varies. It varies depending on the drug of choice that the child is using. The common symptoms they may look at is their behavior, a behavior change, such as are they sleeping more often? Are they not asleep? Their preoccupation with symbols and clothing that emphasize a particular drug of choice, For instance, if a child is using marijuana, they may have clothing that emphasize or show pictures of the marijuana leaf. They may wear jewelry like with symbolizing that. Another thing you have to look out for is their whole academics. Their academics may decrease because they're preoccupied with the substance and they're unable to focus for their particular subject of choice. So as a result of that, grades decreases. The new friends, peers, they may have new friends that is involved in the substance that they are preoccupied with or the drug of choice, for want of a better term. So it's, parents have to look out for these little things and any other little behavior that they know is not in sync with their child's normal routine and behaving.
We're now closer than ever before. Yet it took social distancing to get us there. We're now more aware of how interconnected we all are. Yet it took a virus to teach us what was always obvious. We're more health conscious of ourselves and the environment than ever. Yet it took a global pandemic to create such consciousness. We're wiser now about the planet we share together, yet we just can't afford another lesson on how we need to live this life better. One way, one world. Live easy with Guardian Group.
Even though there are many dangerous drugs available out there, crack cocaine is still accessible and sought after by many users, despite its harmful effects. The abuse of this substance often leads to jail, institution, or death, not necessarily in that order. Or it can turn you into a street dweller. It can be used in many ways: smoked, in black cigarettes, piped, in a Zush bottle, or other device, freebased, or injected. Most users get hooked from the first hit, which progresses to frequent use, dependence, and addiction. Most users will spend an entire salary on the drug while neglecting the needs of family, ignoring commitments like paying monthly bills, etc. This can eventually progress to selling of possessions, neglecting personal hygiene, committing crimes like petty theft, armed robberies, all in search of that first euphoric feeling.
The risk associated with using drugs at an early age varies from the biological aspect to the social aspect. Biological aspect, the brain is developing, so it will hamper the proper development of the brain. And with that, the chances of getting themselves involved in social problems because of the inability to think and focus effectively on something positive may lead to negative consequences. Their social aspect, they get themselves involved in negative activities in society from a very young age. And that contributes to the inability to move forward in the sense that they will like to because they may get themselves involved on the negative side of the law and have a record. The academics may deteriorate. As a result of that, they will not have the full capacity to make academic choices for their career. They preoccupy in dealing with drugs. So they're away from school, they miss all the work, exam marks low, grades low, final exams, failure. So this is some of the things that can affect them when you do drugs early. Parents and guardians can prevent the onset of drug use by becoming more involved in the sons and daughters' life and the activities. Get yourself involved in your sons and daughters' life. Become members, volunteer in various services and organizations and be part of it. They can also be in school. The school has a serious part to play in it. So the school now have a lot of activities which will prevent or should prevent the onset of drugs in school. And as a result of that, there are sanctions. So if the young man or the young lady is involved in a particular activity that brings up the school and they are involved in any negative, come and have any negative interaction with drugs, that will be bringing the school in disrepute, one, and two, that will hamper their ability to perform effectively. So part of the school policies may be, okay, if you are involved in it, as a result of that, you cannot represent the school in any competition or any other activities. And also the community to have positive pro-social activities, sporting events, environmental cleanup, even the elders in the community to have a input in how the community should be and could happen without the use of drugs. So bringing the young ones in it and they go forward. Parents can get help for their teenagers at NADAPP, Rebirth House, Serenity Place, New Life Ministries, and the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services.
What are the short-term effects of crack cocaine? Crack cocaine causes a short-lived, intense high that is immediately followed by the opposite, intense depression, edginess, and a craving for more of the drug. People who use it often don't eat or sleep properly. They can experience greatly increased heart rate, muscle spasms, and convulsions. The drug can make people feel paranoid, angry, hostile, and anxious, even when they are not high. Regardless of how much of the drug is used or how frequently, crack cocaine increases the risk that the user will experience a heart attack, stroke, seizure, or respiratory failure, any of which can result in sudden death. Smoking crack further presents a series of health risks. Crack is often mixed with other substances that create toxic fumes when burned. As crack smoke does not remain potent for long, crack pipes are generally very short. This often causes cracked and blistered lips, known as crack lip, from users having a very hot pipe pressed against their lips. Now, what are the long-term effects of crack cocaine use? In addition to the usual risks associated with cocaine use, crack users may experience severe respiratory problems, including coughing, shortness of breath, lung damage, and bleeding. Long-term effects from use of crack cocaine include severe damage to the heart, liver, and kidneys. Users are more likely to have infectious diseases. Continued daily use causes sleep deprivation and loss of appetite, resulting in malnutrition. Smoking crack cocaine also can cause aggressive and paranoid behavior. As crack cocaine interferes with the way the brain processes chemicals, one needs more and more of the drug just to feel normal. Those who become addicted to crack cocaine lose interest in other areas of life. Coming down from the drug causes severe depression, which becomes deeper and deeper after each use. This can get so severe that a person will do almost anything to get the drug, even commit murder. And if he or she can't get crack cocaine, the depression can get so intense it can drive the addict to suicide.
I thought that school wasn't for me, so I was looking for something else. I was looking for joy in something else because I wasn't finding the joy in learning maths and English and stuff like that. So I decided to hang out with the so-called big boys. I started off smoking cigarettes. I thought that, that wasn't good enough for me.
This was in Form 1?
No, this was in second form.
Second form, okay.
Yeah.
And the cigarettes were made available to you by
They
these?
were very available, free.
Free?
Yeah.
From the older guys in the school?
Yes, from the older heads.
Okay.
I thought that wasn't really enough for me, so I decided to go to this thing they call hemp. That in itself wasn't sufficient. So this is where I was introduced to marijuana.
On the school compound?
Yes, on the school compound. And marijuana was more available than cigarette and hemp on the school compound.
So students were coming to school with marijuana in their bags and selling, or just
yes,
giving
selling, distributing. Well, I got to meet the older heads and got to, know them on a certain level. So I got my drugs free and stuff like that, And that kept progressing where I decided, I would sell my own drugs too. And I know to myself that I led a lot of young people along the wrong path. And this is what I pray for every day, that God will forgive me for doing something like that, because I know that wasn't something right.
Enjoy Simply More with a Digicel Prime Bundle. More data to listen more with D-Music. Watch more with PlayGo. Cheer more with Sportsmax. Tune in more with Go Loud. Get 25 gigs plus dedicated LTE data for apps for 30 days for only $249. Dial *323# or visit the My Digicel app to buy. Digicel, better together.
Some of us like to play games of chance, but remember, gaming should be fun. So don't get carried away. Play for a prize, but don't pay the price. Play for fun, but never for keeps. Play smart, but never play all. Winning isn't everything. If you or someone you know needs help, call our gambling addiction hotlines. Rebirth House 24-hour hotline 466-3146 or Serenity Place Empowerment Center for Women 794-7980. An initiative of NLCB and Eye on Dependency.
Because it is smoked, the effects of crack cocaine are more immediate and more intense than that of powdered cocaine. Loss of appetite, increased heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, increased rate of breathing, dilated pupils, disturbed sleep patterns, nausea, hyperstimulation, bizarre, erratic, sometimes violent behavior, hallucinations, hyperexcitability, irritability, tactile hallucination that creates the illusion of bugs burrowing under the skin, intense euphoria, anxiety and paranoia, depression, intense drug craving, panic and psychosis, convulsions, seizures, and sudden death from high doses, even after one use. Long-term effects: permanent damage to blood vessels of air and brain, high blood pressure, leading to heart attacks, stroke, and death, liver, kidney, and lung damage, severe chest pains, respiratory failure, infectious diseases and abscesses if injected, malnutrition, weight loss, severe tooth decay, auditory and tactile hallucinations, sexual problems, reproductive damage and infertility for both men and women, disorientation, apathy, confused exhaustion, irritability and mood disturbances, increased frequency of risky behavior, delirium or psychosis, severe depression, tolerance and addiction, even after just one use. The answer? Just don't do it. There are many reasons why adolescents use drugs, but it's very important that parents set good examples and that teens are informed about potential harms caused by drugs of abuse.
Join us next time for another informative edition of Iron Dependency TV, the topic, drug treatment and rehabilitation. See you then.